Hey, Jashaga, come on in, girl. Come on in. You on point? Look, you ready, ain't you? Come on in. Hey, how you doing? Look, I gotta have a little music playing, but I'm so excited. I'm waiting on
We
Barbara to come in here. Look,
yes, I am too. I'm ready. I got my stuff and everything. And I don't know, you lead the way and I will follow with
got
everything
you.
I have.
Got you. I got you. Welcome
I love
everybody. Come on in.
that he said
Right
Shay.
now. You see that? Listen,
Yeah,
I'm getting it together.
you are.
But my thing, I want to make sure that whatever I produce is quality. So because I want however I treat myself, I want to be able to have everybody else get what I get. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
love
I'm taking my
quality
time with it,
instead of
but it's right, right. Welcome in everyone to She Say, He Say. I'm your host at DT 1300. I have a special guest with me, Jashaga 1717, and we're going to be talking about grief management. So just come on in. I'm waiting for my honorable co-host Barbara. Here she comes. Look, speaking of the angel, not the we don't do that, but speaking of the angel, here she comes. Barbara, come on in the box, please. Okay, wait a minute, hold up.
oh, you know how
Here
to do
she
it
go. Wait, still just two.
now?
It's
Oh,
still
it's
on
just
two.
oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Barbara.
Hello,
Yeah.
ladies.
How
We
are
gonna
you?
Hello.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
I got my two.
welcome in, y'all. We're gonna have a
Listen,
good
I got some here. I got
Yeah,
my water
yes.
here too.
got
I got
yeah.
I'm good.
Hey,
Welcome,
Tiffany, where
Dee.
you been, girl? Where you been? Girl, I got a business now. She say, he say LLC. I
Welcome.
got a business now. But welcome in, Tempest. I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome in, Deidre Canty.
That's my
I'm
Welcome.
listening.
sister. Hey, Dave.
That's your sister. Hey, Deidre. Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
Oh
Hold up.
my
Hold up.
God.
Welcome in till 2026.
Welcome,
So yeah.
welcome.
But
Yeah.
Barbara, you,
Welcome.
Barbara, I got you down for the finger, right? Uh huh.
Yes,
Okay.
baby.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on. Let- Look here.
Hey,
Yeah.
pretty bad. Girl, I spoke you up, pretty baddie. I ain't see you last time. I said,
Yeah.
where's my pretty baddie at? I spoke you up. How you doing, love? I missed you. Welcome in, Audrey 0702.
Well,
Mr.
yeah.
C, oh, you better come on in here. Dope
Dope
ass
ass
mom,
woman.
look. Y'all, dope ass mom is our honorary guest, y'all. She comes
That's
in and
right.
out, but I appreciate you coming in.
Exactly.
Today your birthday. Happy birthday, pretty baddie. Happy birthday, pretty
He
baddie.
said these are specials for
Happy
women.
born day.
Okay,
Welcome in,
welcome.
welcome in.
Welcome in.
I'm waiting on
Okay.
some. We got you got Bill Barbara. You in there, so I'll let you because I know Nikki
Yeah,
supposed to.
yeah, yeah. Nikki's
Okay.
coming right behind. Trust me. I'm looking.
Okay.
I'm
Mr.
looking.
Two Sides. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. Yeah.
Avery
Okay.
Barnes. So yeah, so
Mm.
we're gonna give it a few minutes to let some people come in, but I want to definitely say welcome everyone. Thank y'all for coming to She Say He Say
Yeah.
live. I'm your girl host at DT 1300. I have the honorable
Okay.
co-host Barbara 198709 that's in the box with
Welcome.
me. And then we have our special guest, Jashaga 1717. Let me
Mm.
Oh, you already got that? You already got that,
Yeah,
Barbara?
yeah, I'm on it. I'm
Okay,
on
okay.
it.
But
Okay, yeah.
My
I
daughter is
definitely
in here.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
yeah,
K.
wait a
yeah.
minute.
My
I
daughter.
love you, big.
Oh, okay. Welcome me, daughter. Welcome me. I'm so excited.
Oh
Just
my
let me tell
God.
y'all.
That is great.
There go my number. There she go.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
good
Sexy
evening.
Nikki. Welcome
Yeah,
in,
I
virtual
love
mama.
you. Yeah, it
Welcome
look at it be a
in.
red one today, though, but I'm gonna do
Now,
me.
Mr. CEO, I know Barbara's ain't the only one you see, but I'm gonna let that roll. I'm gonna let that
That's
roll.
right. You see us all. You see, right. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
welcome.
That's how the people
Uh-huh.
do. That's how the people do. But I ain't, I
Yeah,
ain't
we
mad
ain't
at it.
doing that.
I
We
get
ain't
it.
doing that. Just women.
Hey, B
We
Betty
doing
Boop New
that.
York. Welcome in. Hi, virtual mama. Welcome in, love. How
Hey.
y'all doing? Thank you, love. You coming on in the room with the gifts. Thank you,
Come on.
love. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, who you?
Virtual mama, I let you know in due time, sweetheart. But if you look at the live before you come in, it has it right there also. It should be right there, but I'm announcing in a little bit, love.
No.
Nah, well, cause see, I just feel
Yeah,
like something in my
yeah,
spirit, virtual. I'm gonna
yeah. My
respectfully block
spirit
you, but you
no,
have a good night,
it's done.
okay? All
Yeah,
right.
it's already
Something in
done.
my spirit. I'm gonna tell y'all
It's
something.
done. It's
I don't.
done.
We
It's
don't.
already
Yeah, we don't do
done.
no
Don't
disrespect.
worry about that. I
Look,
got
be
you.
ready.
Yeah, be ready.
We don't do no
Yeah,
disrespect in him. We do read. Mm-hmm. That's what you do, read.
Please stop driving and typing and eating.
Look,
Mm,
Lord have mercy. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying, Mr. CEO. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to be doing all that now. From a call
exactly.
that I'm typing and driving and eating. But it would have been more
Uh,
quicker for you to just say, well, hey, everyone. I see
yeah,
you, Mr.
that's more
CEO.
like it.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
I'm just playing with you, though, Mr. CEO. I'm glad you're here. Seeing to spread that energy. That's right. Spread a
Good,
positive
good
energy. We
energy.
don't,
Yeah, positive.
we don't welcome in no disrespect at all. I missed you too, love. Not even gonna
Okay,
lie, I was gonna throw my
I got
phone
that.
and you were
No,
gonna
that's
throw the phone. Be ready, don't throw the phone. I do want to say, y'all, that again, thank y'all for coming in to She Say He Say. This live happens on Wednesdays and Fridays at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, your girl A at DT1300. I have my honorable co-host Miss Barbara 198709 in the building. Trigger finger. And then
yeah,
I have
yes, yes. On top of it.
and then I have the special guest, the most lovely Jashaga 1777, who is going to be here to talk with us and to us in regards to grief management. So I want to say thank you again, Jashaga 1717, for
Thank
coming
you.
in. And I do want to say first, I have to give a disclaimer. I might have too much lip gloss on, y'all. Hold on.
Mm,
Uh-huh. I do want to give a disclaimer that if this is a trigger for anyone, our goal is not to hurt, harm, or anything to anyone. So please exit out the live. And that's a friendly exit, respectfully, because again, this is a safe space. We want to bring, we aim to bring topics to discuss that's meaningful, that has substance, and that's needed, for our culture, not only for our culture, but for everyone to be able to have these discussions. So please, if this
exactly.
is a trigger, please exit out the live. And please be respectful. I'm not one. Hey, Ansley. Oh yeah, it's getting good. My peoples is coming through. Feel this about to be a good one. Yes, V Betty, it definitely is. Definitely is. Hey, Sahara, girl, you better come on in the room. Yes, love. Beauty 2020, welcome in. But
Mm-hmm.
we definitely, I'm all about time, being on time. I don't do no CP time, okay? We do on time, because I go to bed early. I'm kind. All right. But definitely, y'all get your snacks, get your drinks, get your Kleenex. Okay, I got mine right here, ready. Just in
Right
case.
here. I got mine right
Yeah, please do. But definitely, I want to say,
here.
just giving some history with my TikTok friendship that I've, had with Jashaga 1717. She actually came in the live. I've been watching her lives and stuff too. I watch a lot of people's stuff, but sometimes because of my work, I can't really go in like I want to. But
Hey,
I had
moderator.
seen that she had a topic that said, well, you have a title. This is what attracted me. You have a title that says survivor of homicide. And I've been able to hear bits and pieces, but I never really got a full understanding of what that was. But I think by me actually doing this and hearing people and us discussing like dependence awareness, different things related to mental health, you were the first person I thought of that I talked to Miss Barbara about, and I said I want her to come in and talk about grief. I just felt, woman to woman, that there was something there. There was a story there. And I wanted to be able to have you be the one to tell that story, but also help others along the way. And so I thank you. Thank you so much for
You,
wanting to be a guest.
I feel so
Very much. Thank you. I'm honored to have you as being one of the first guests. Because Barbara was the number one guest. Well, no. Let me stop. I got to go back to Midas. Midas was also a guest. Barbara,
Right,
now
right.
you. But just thank you for being one of the guests to definitely come in and bless us, because I feel in my
Thank you.
spirit. You got some things to say that's going to be helpful in relation to grief. And please feel free to, if
Yes.
anyone have any questions, we will be looking, into ask any questions. I will also allow some time if there's anyone that want to actually talk with Jashaga 1717 directly. I only got 2 boxes, y'all, but Miss Barbara, she doesn't mind stepping out to let someone step in to be able
Exactly.
to. It's all about healing, and everything
That's
like that.
right.
So I'll definitely
That's
be
right.
actually doing that kind of towards the end. There'll also be some resources that'll also be
Got that.
available as well. So definitely, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me stop. I'm gonna let my peoples do this. Hey,
Yeah.
Lynette, how you doing? So yeah, so definitely did the groundwork at the beginning of the live. Did the grid work? No, it didn't.
No, it
It
didn't.
still didn't work for
No.
me, but it's all right because we still gonna rock and roll. We still gonna rock and roll. That's actually a reason, and I feel like it's a reason for that. But I'll talk about that later. Yes, no mistakes that I'm here. Let
Okay.
me see. Oh, good, good, good. No problem. So, Jashaga 1717, do you mind sharing with us some of what's behind, or the story behind Survivor of Homicide?
yes. On June 4th, 2006, my son was murdered in
Mm.
front of my mom's house.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
Sorry to hear that.
Mhm.
he was at home watching his little brother and his little cousin. So it was like 7 kids in the house. People was outside. You know how in the summer it starts to get dim outside.
Right.
He had just got a fresh haircut. And when I tell you, my son was a loving person. Now, if he was somebody out there in the streets and doing what people do, then I would have had a lot of life insurance on him because I'm that type of mom. But
Right.
Mhm.
someone paid someone to, because my son didn't want to actually tell this person he didn't like his weed. I'm gonna keep it real. And
Okay.
got upset because he bought weed from somebody else. And so the boy smoked some illy, that transformed you, and came up to my son. My son couldn't lock, he
Thank
didn't
you.
know his
Thank
name.
you.
My son died in surgery. Let me say this right now, in
Okay.
Connecticut. And one thing about Connecticut is, rather you die on scene or whatever, you are not gonna lay out there. They're gonna take you right to the hospital and pronounce you dead there. That's good. I mean, because I've seen too many scenes where people are just laying in the street for hours. No, we don't do that in Connecticut. So anyway,
Mm.
he shot my son. I went to the hospital, a whole lot of us, and he died in surgery. But I
Mm.
can, in a way, understand why the Lord didn't. Now I understand why the Lord didn't keep him, because he got shot one time in the back and it
Mm.
came out the front. It's because I deal with it this way now. I know the Lord took him to tell me, you can't love nobody more than me. Because, honey, we cherished the
Mm.
ground my son walked on. He was that person who was so sweet and kind and loving that
Mm.
now I understand why. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
Anyway, getting back to that, I experienced in my grief anger. I didn't cry until they caught the people who was involved. So I didn't cry at his funeral. I took my grief away where I went to the funeral home because it was people we know. And I saw my son when he was on the table draining because I wanted to see my son once he came back from the coroner's office. And I was able to do everything with a sound mind and everything. See, my grief was anger. And it was anger for like 8 years. You know, it's coming up on 16 years now, and I cannot believe it's been that long. But I don't think I ever experienced denial or anything, or me feeling guilty of anything, because one thing I can honestly say, my kids are number one. Well, God is the ultimate. We're not even that, but I had so many people coming to me asking me, telling me, Miss Trina, you ain't got no woulda, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. And I didn't, because I knew I did everything I could for my kids. But in my grief, I dealt with anger and retaliation. I wanted somebody else to die. But when people come up to you and say, Miss Trina, what you want me to do? And I'm looking at them like, what are you talking about? What do you want me to do? I could never go and tell somebody to kill somebody's mother or child. You know, I couldn't do that. But don't think the thought didn't cross me.
You're human.
Yeah. So it crossed my mind. But I guess I did go into depression, but it wasn't like a depression like sad or nothing. It was like I just sat and waited for somebody to say something to me out the way so I could chop their damn head off. Can you say damn on here?
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that. Wow.
But,
wow.
It wasn't for my two sisters, Lisa and Nikki, to drag me to a survivors of homicide meeting. I would probably be just now getting ready to get out of jail. So they dragged me there. And one thing about, I don't care how much you care about a person and they lose a child, until it happens to you. You don't want to imagine that.
I know.
Exactly.
You don't want to know that feeling, because like I said, I was angry and denial, not denial in the sorts that he wasn't dead, but denial in the sorts that, how could somebody do this to him? You know, just how could somebody do that to him? And thank God my sisters took me there to survivors of homicide, because they don't get sick of hearing it. But that year, we had just came from my sister's best friend's funeral of her son 3 months earlier. That's in Virginia. And then 3 months later, my son gets killed. And you wouldn't believe how many people I know personally that children have been murdered. It's like from white to black to Spanish. You know, I can say one lady who was there for me, because she told me what I said. Her son just got murdered 2 months ago, and she was there comforting me at my house, telling me, Trina, God gonna take care of it. Da 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 da. She said, I said, fuck God. Who?
That's all right. You good? No, you're all right.
And who would have thought 16 years later I'd be talking to her on FaceTime, trying to get her through the process. She is more emotional. I was more angry. I have come to deal with it, but whoever invented that word closure, there's no such word as closure.
Oh no.
There's no such word. No.
Not when they go that way. And people get mad at me when I say this, and I don't care. There are different ways children die. I could have took a car accident better. I could have took an illness better. Something like that. But when it's murder and somebody chooses when it's time for you to go, that's the ultimate. You can't tell me
Yeah.
about, okay, your child died of whatever, whatever, whatever. Okay, I have sympathy with you, but my son didn't choose to die. Somebody decided that for him. Yeah.
Right.
Somebody said, I
Right.
still feel the same hurt, pain, and grief. It's like with me, this is what taught me when I went to survivors of homicide, is that it's like, you know how you have a space where you
Yeah.
keep all the nice things, where you'll
Right.
down and dust it once a month or something. They said, Trina, just think you have a mantle or some special place where you put that pain up on, and every now and then you can
Mhm.
take it down. It's okay, but you can't let it contain or absorb your life. And I have forgiven everyone who was involved, even the person who killed my son. I've forgiven him, but he's crazier than a bed bug. So um
Mm.
but one boy who was involved, it was five people involved because of during the planning and this, that, and the other. And one boy I forgave. Thank God I saw him, because he took it bad. Two people suffered really bad because my son was good to them, but they were scared of the big time drug dealer. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And stuff. And my son, I guess he was upset that my son told him that this other person's weed was better. Was a little better. What you care about my little $40 for? You got all the money. He's
Right.
still trying to tell this dude, you the man, you know. But right now, he didn't want to get his. It was his money, but he took it personally. And the thing about it is, it's somebody who I drank coolers with on the front porch and different things. So yeah.
Wow.
But
Wow.
Royce never told on him. All he did was spend 2 years in prison for violating. They tried to. I had the best prosecutors, the best judges, because every day, I was down there because there was 4 people involved. So it's different court dates every month or every other month. So I was down there. My job was wonderful. But like I said, how I got from the shock and disbelief, I was never in denial. I did ask God why, and I finally, after 13 years, got my answer, and I understand that, so there's my daughter, to host and moderator. Thank you for moderating messages to ensure this remains a safe space. That's my
Oh,
job.
you're welcome, love. I just put that. You're welcome, love, because we say that. Let me tell you. Listen, anytime we have anything that we do as a collective, we make sure that we have moderators here. Miss Barbara, I'm letting you back in, love. And that we make sure, and that's why I always give that warning about trigger, to allow people time to leave. Or maybe they have to gather themselves and they can come in at a later time or something like that. But no, we definitely are always going to make sure that this is a safe space. That's what she say, he say it's all about. It's for men and women to come together to have these conversations outside of everything else that's actually going on. I'll let that moderators get there, but you're always going to have certain people come in and try to distract and destroy, but it won't work. Not in God's house, it won't work. Not here. But definitely I do want to say, as far as Jashaga, and my condolences to you and your family, in regards to your son. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Hold on one second, y'all. My apologies. Um, my apologies, y'all. I'm sorry. I think I did something. I did something right. Okay. But I do want to say, so the person was arrested, but you said only did 2 years or
The one who killed my son, he's still in jail.
oh, okay. Okay.
You don't get good time with murder. It was a mistrial. I could not go to a trial. I was hoping he'd get life or 50, 60 years, because the boy was still young. If the Lord sees that he will, then he will still have life. You know what I'm saying? Because he was 21 when so he got 30 straight years. Every go on the Connecticut inmate lookup, And see, one thing about Connecticut too, put a recent picture of him up. You go and see how he looks now. Girl, he could have walked by and even known it was him if he was.
Wow.
Oh, that's how different he went in.
I do want to say, Mr. CEO underscore A20 wanted to ask, at what point did you in your heart find the strength of forgiveness?
I was,
Hey, A.
it was like I kept riding by the houses, and I did this for years. You know, I knew where the murderer lived. I knew where the other boy who was involved mother lived. I knew where the other mother lived. I knew where everybody lived. It was draining me. I was mean, evil. I was just so one day I started going back to church, stopped going to church, and I just dropped keys and asked the Lord to help me, you know,
Mm,
because you give somebody else a power, which they had, you can't move forward. And I'm gonna tell you, for years, I'll say about 8, I was stuck. You know what I'm saying? I was just stuck. Not stuck as far as all that stuff, but always had that on my of getting you know, even I could have had somebody get even. I just could not tell
right, right.
because I'm gonna be honest, they love my mom and I would cook, have a cookout, make sure I go to Sam so every kid on the I grew up in but it ain't where you I chose to live
Right.
a than everybody else because my mother always told us, your house is your sanctuary and your bedroom is more sanctuary. I don't let people in my bedroom sit on my bed and stuff. Stuff
Mm,
my grandbaby and my but
In answer to that question she asked.
oh my
yeah, I did. Oh, look at, thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I get excited about the gifts. I get excited. Um, but thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And I do want to say, because you mentioned 8 years of being upset.
yes.
It never goes away.
Being angry. Oh, you welcome, soul of a lady. You welcome. What I have to ask in those 8 years because you also had other children as well.
Well,
Um,
my other daughter who's on here now, she is a year and a half. She was 18 or 19,
okay,
but I had my son Gary. So I knew if I did something stupid, my daughter, I can't put her to take care of her brother because
right,
because I just couldn't do that. It would have been my mother taking care of them and stuff like that. So I just had to choose. So then I finally got myself together. I think I might have got myself together a little bit sooner than that because I ended up buying a home in Connecticut. So that was a big step for me too. But then things come back.
hmm
Trying to take during that time, the devil, I'm not forget it. It doesn't. I've done some things that I'm not proud of. So,
hmm
but
What and let me know if this may get too personal because you had
oh,
you
ain't it's
okay, because I want to go into something that I did research was childhood grief. And you mentioned that you still had your son that was 4. And you also mentioned that there was 8 years of you being angry. Have you and your son, or have your son ever came to you? Because you know, children can feel when there is something that ain't too right, or something is going on. They could feel that, you know what I'm saying? Like like this, me personally, I know my daughter, things that I went through that she was there for, that I feel bad for, but was able to have that talk with her as an adult. Have y'all ever had that conversation, or have he ever came to you growing up and opened up to you about how he felt about that particular day with him losing his brother, but also just with your relationship being that 8 years you were angry? You know what I'm saying? Have y'all ever had a discussion like that?
My son loves me. I never know that. My son had to, at 4, he was fine, it seemed like. But when he got to elementary school, one thing I like about Connecticut, you don't have to go to a therapist. They send the Yale child therapist to the school instead of you having to miss a day. He had to seek therapy for a while because I remember hearing the gunshot and them running because the boy came in my mother's house because my son couldn't lock the door. Shot my son. We didn't know he got shot in the back until we got, the autopsy report. And yeah, it still bothers him about his brother because he heard it. And
Right.
gunshot goes off, it's loud. And you got
to
scramble, get under the bed, closet, because you know they coming for them next. But it's still now that he's older because he's 23.
Yes.
Before I moved down here, before I came, we talked about everything. I mean, everything. As far as the grief of his brother, because my son used to load up all kids in the car and take them to the movies. You know what I'm saying? Kids, they used to, because my son would be 40 now. It's different now out there than it was. They used to buy ice cream for all the kids and everything. But me and my son, Gary, we still discuss this time. What if he was here? And the one thing I hate, he didn't. My son was 23 when he passed away. But we had like I don't want to say this, a generational curse with that, because for 4 generations, the first oldest new generation male was murdered. My great grandfather's murdered. My grandfather's brother was murdered. My Keith was murdered, and my murdered. And I'm not gonna go into the other things. My other sister get 1,005 because I have a nephew who was murdered also. And that was a hard one.
Yeah, that sounds like that's definitely, and we all know that generational curses is real, not just.
It's broke because 2 of my nephews got shot one night, but the oldest one didn't die. But he's carrying a little brother who was trying to get home for curfew. But anyway,
yeah.
And I've learned to deal with it. I have to learn. It's hard. It's no time limit. Oh, that's
yeah. Thank you.
You, Rosie.
Oh, damn. Oh, hey, welcome in, son. Welcome in. Your people showing out, girl. They got that support. That's what it's all about. Welcome in, y'all. Thank you.
I'm busy, and I tell them that this TikTok therapy for me. And
yeah.
While on my videos, girl, I finally watched all y'all too. You crazy too.
Look, girl, you already know, girl. You know I am. You know I am, girl. You already know. But you gotta be able to, TikTok. I found TikTok through my own depression, through my own grief, because I still grieve for my father, and he's been gone for 4 years. And and I talk about my daughter's father who recently passed away. It'll be a year this year in May. So dealing with all of that, y'all, I'm not gonna get emotional because y'all know I'm very sensitive. But like you said,
I just can't.
Right, yeah. But I was angry too. I was angry at my dad because I was like, I told you to come stay with me. Why didn't you know? He was an alcoholic, but he didn't want to, that addiction thing was there. You know what I'm saying? And so unfortunately, his addiction is what led to his death. But I had blamed myself, like, dang, if I would have just went to get him, no matter what he said, he'll probably still be here. But that's not how things go, and I had to kind of release myself from that. But and that's why I said grief management. And I talked to Ms. Barbara about this as well, because I know she's also, and I'll let you talk about if you're okay, Ms. Barbara, because again, I don't want to, it's a safe space.
I'm good with it.
But I also, wanted hey love, hey Celeste, welcome in. But I also wanted it to be thank you, peace and prosperity queen. Thank you for welcoming me in. I want to welcome everyone. Let me just take a moment for everyone that's coming in, just to let you guys know. Thank you all for being here. This is She Say He Say. I'm your host at DT 1300. Our topic of discussion is grief management. I have my honorable co-host, Ms. Barbara 198709, and then I have my special guest, Jashaga 1777, here to talk about, her experience with that, with her losing her son. Again, my condolences, but also I'm glad, Ms. Barbara, that you were able to be here too, because and I'll let you speak on that. But I do want to say, y'all, this is a safe space. If this is a trigger for you, please respectfully leave the live. We don't want to cause any hurt, any harm, or any further trigger or damage that one may be feeling. So please feel free to leave the live, but you're welcome to come back in at any time. We actually do this live from 6:05 p.m. on Wednesdays and Fridays to 8:30 p.m. Okay, we start on time. Oh, thank you, Big Betty Boo. Thank you. We start on time. Thank you to everyone for the gifts for all of us as well. And we also end on time at 8:30. Okay, because we know people got to get up in the morning, school and work night, and work night, or you just got to get up. Okay. All right. So I do want to say, Barbara, if you don't mind sharing. Oh, I'm sorry. And if you have any questions, or thank you so much. Thank you. If you have any questions, or please put them in the chat. I do apologize. I might not always see everything that's coming through. I'll try to make sure I'm paying attention because I do want to focus on our guests. But definitely, Ms. Barbara, can you share your experience that you've had with your loss as well?
Thank you. I want to thank you for coming on to the show and sharing your part of grief and sharing, your loved one. You see, I'm also a mother that lost a son. I'm also an aunt that's seeing my nephew be murdered. See, right now, I'm in the process of us going to a funeral this Sunday. I went to visit my aunt Thursday morning, and she died Thursday afternoon. This is like somewhat a touchy situation, but it's a good situation because we need to discuss this. Grieving is grieving. We will never get over grieving. We will learn to get better with it. You see, my son, when he died on my heart. He died on my chest. And that's a feeling that I would never, ever overcome. As you say, May, it will be his anniversary. And
Cheers, Miss Barbara.
It's an experience that grieving mothers and fathers will never forget of a loss of a child. You see, one thing I do know, we're supposed to go before then, but there's no plan out like that. Sometimes God puts her in a situation. And mind you, I have other children as well. And they're still grieving about the loss of their brother to this day. But see, the only thing I can do is get better.
Yeah.
Because I will never forget. There's a big difference. You never forget of your child. I wear his heart, his face on my chest every day. Because when I get down and despair, I just look at that picture. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me doing what I do. Share the hope. Because there's hope. Because sometimes you don't know if you was going to go insane losing a child, losing a father, losing a mother. losing people that's dear to you, how would you accept it? It's not because I know we live and I know we die. It's how we leave. It's how we leave this place.
That's right.
Because we leaving too quick.
Mm.
It makes me think that the world just gonna start on, and
It is.
that's just,
Unfortunately, it is. It's just, are you ready? Are you
yes.
prepared?
I'm trying. I'm getting there. I'm telling you.
Lord knows I am. My God, today I still got one toe dipped over here and then I got the other toe over there.
I'm not
Lord
talking
have mercy.
about cleaning your house. I'm not talking about that. Are you ready?
Come to DT's 1300s live. I don't know how to block.
Yeah, yeah.
1300.
And all fathers, no matter what, we keep pushing forward. Because, mind you, we have other children that relies on us. We have other responsibilities, like grandchildren that relies on us. They like to see the smile on our face. They don't like to see us, sad, and that's what keeps me going, because I do have grandchildren.
See, you're fortunate.
And they are the laughter of they like the joy of my life.
See,
they brought back faith to my life. They brought back peace and harmony to my life. Because that's how I live. Like Dick. And like I said, I always got to bring this back to her. Because see, I checked I went on this TikTok and I was looking for a safe place.
Right.
When I seen her first show and I heard her speak, I said, maybe I need to check this one out. Maybe she's going in the right direction. Maybe God sent me to her for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm still here because I see where she's trying to go with this. It's open up, broaden. She's discussing everything across the board.
And not scared to
And
do.
that's why I want to be. Because I deal with people on a daily basis, all areas of their life. When I say all areas, across the board. And it's amazing that God gives me the strength after all I've been through, all I have seen, all I had dealt with, to sit up in here and say, thank you.
Oh, thank you, V. Betty.
Thank you. Thank you for having a platform so we as an adult can sit up here and share our lives and our pain, our joy, and our sadness.
Yes.
We
don't spend our bottle with our thing. I know. Now look now. I think look now. Y'all not gonna make me cry today. Not tonight. Not tonight. Okay. Don't make me do. Y'all know I'm sensitive. Okay. Y'all sensitive. I'm sensitive. But let me say this. Let me say this right quick, because I want to make sure, Jashaga, I want to make sure your daughter come back in here. She was accidentally blocked. I unblocked her. Wasn't it M? There she goes. There, I got you back. Look, let me tell you, when your brother said that I didn't even know that was you, but for some reason he said your first name, and I said, wait a minute, let me go here. So I'm sorry, love, that was not intentional. I apologize. Let me tell you, listen, my moderators don't play.
And I heard what you said, Mr. CEO. We're not going to talk about dialogue or none of that, but this is how we are feeling. See, we are mothers that lost children. We are mothers, we are parents that our children's been murdered. We are parents that this is a platform where we can speak about how we feel. It's not about how other people may perceive us, but this is how I feel. See, when my son just suddenly died, he wasn't murdered, but he just expired at a very young age. And for me to allow him to die on my heart, that was devastating for me. Just like any other parent, when they lose anybody, any loved one, whether they was murdered in the street or happened, just go home. Be grateful that we're able to sit on the platform and talk about it.
Heck
and
yeah.
talk about how it affects us in our mental status.
It may be
How they
helpful.
didn't talk, make us go to the deep end. Which way to go?
Right.
How we gonna do this? How we gonna get back up?
No, he's saying what he said, Miss Barbara, was you misunderstood. He said he was saying it's necessary for us to have this dialogue. So I see what you're saying, Mr. CEO. Okay.
Oh, I like to listen.
Yeah. Now
Thank
come
you.
on now, apologize now, Miss Barbara. Now honorable co-host now,
Look,
Mr.
I raised up,
CEO.
right? I raised up. Like, look, I'm about to raise up now. Listen.
You know how the emotions is, Mr. CEO.
Yes.
Kind. You know, she mean it. It's passionate. You see, it's passion here. You see, it's some
Listen.
pain that's here. Okay,
Listen,
but we
man.
women enough to say when we're sorry. So we apologize. You know, she apologized,
I apologize
Mr.
for the
CEO.
misunderstanding.
My
I
God, today.
apologize. The
Yes,
pain is
Lord.
pain.
Yes,
We
Lord
get
Jesus.
through that pain.
Hey, the drum not hurt.
Thank you.
I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. Get on. And she going live after this. When she going live after this, go on in her live and get out on kind. Go on and get
Thank
out
you.
of Mr.
I'm so grateful
CEO.
that you can. Yeah, I'm coming away. Yeah.
Yeah, like
So
right
you know
after this,
it's like
8:31. At
this.
8:31, go on over there to her and get her. Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. Like,
Yeah,
pain
'cause
is pain. But it's like what we do with it. We just sit it in, or we do something about it, make it greater, make it, share the word, share the love, share the how you got through it. Share it. Just share it. Share other parents, how you got through
Oh,
your situation. Just like I share how I got through mine. That's it. Anybody else want to come in, they're more than welcome and share their
no,
little
definitely.
stories.
Oh yeah, if anybody, because I know that this has been a very sensitive subject, and that's why I felt it was necessary. And again, Jashaga, I know Trina. I heard you saying Trina, but I know you about Jashaga, and I appreciate you for being able to come in and share your experience, because you have been a blessing for others, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Like you have been there to be able to be there for other people who may have gone through that. And although I have not, I don't know what it feels like. And my condolences to both of you to lose a child. And I hope I will never know what that feels like. I have lost someone close to me, and I had to get myself in a situation where I could be there for my daughter who was going through what she was going through when she lost her father, and she still goes through that, and she's doing a lot better now. Beja Stardom, she's doing welcome in. She's doing a lot better now. But
Hey, Sydney.
this another relative. Hey, Cindy, this relative. This support. Hey, Cindy, I'm excited too. Welcome in, y'all. Thank you, definitely welcome in. Welcome in. I appreciate everything y'all coming on through the building. Due to the live. And again, this is grief management, y'all. This is what we're talking about. I'm your host at DT 1300 for She Say He Say. I have the honorable co-host Miss Barbara 198709 and the lovely special guest Jashaga 1717, who was able to let us know of her experience of losing her son who was murdered, and also Miss Barbara who lost someone as well. And this is a platform for anyone. If someone would like to come in just to talk about their experiences, because you just never know what people are going through. Okay. You never know what type of drama is going on that just help that actually talks it intensifies what you're going through. So you got to be careful also when you are in a state of grief, is to also be careful who you are surrounding or what you're watching or things like that, because I'm telling y'all, energy is transferable, whether you right by somebody or you're looking on TikTok or Instagram or what, whatever it may be. And I'm like you, Jashaga, as well as Ms. Barbara. TikTok was something that helped me through my depression. It helped me through the grief that I had. You know what I'm saying? But I also know when I gotta step away. You know what I mean? Because of me, sometimes it could be that one little song that come on. Cause my daddy loves some Maids featuring Frankie Beverly. It could be that one song. Yes, girl, that's my favorite. That's my favorite group. I could hear a song Come on. And I can see him. I'm a turn for a little bit. Y'all ain't gonna talk about the most. Y'all let me let it go, y'all, because I'm gonna get emotional.
Song, if I hear it from my son, is Juvenile Slow Motion. He loved that song. And we have it on his headstone because up down here you can't have stand-up headstones, but in Connecticut you can. And on his headstone we have something. I can't even remember. I haven't been in 3 years. So because he's not there, that's just something that's there. His soul is in heaven. So I don't go to the and visit no more. That's where I want to throw my phone.
I'm sorry, y'all.
So, yes, Monica.
It's okay.
It's okay, D.
But
we all got ugly cries.
Yes.
But y'all done seen me cry about 3 days in a row now, about 3 shows in a row. I'm not trying to cry with y'all every time I get on here now. I ain't trying to do that now. I got down now. Hold on now. Let me wipe my eyes again. Got down now. Shoot now. I got to get stronger. Woo, Father God, y'all. That's my daddy now. That's my daddy, James Henry Taylor, y'all. James Henry Taylor, his spirit is right here. Plus, I have a shrine.
He's with you. He's with you, D. Trust me. He got you. He's with you, baby.
I have a shrine right here with my dad and my daughter's father, and the helmet that my daughter's father wore when he was hit by a motorcycle. And I keep this shrine here for protection because
Okay, sweet.
I've been, it's just been a lot, with my daughter and to see her hurt. And I'm very connected, very spiritually with the Most High and with my ancestors, and I feel that. And I just miss them. I just miss them.
It's okay. It's okay.
And so when I decided to do this, and I said to Miss Barbara, I thank you, Miss Barbara. Let me tell y'all something. You just don't know what someone is going through, and I just thank you for coming, supporting me, and because with you, I can't thank you enough. I just thank you. I do. As well as Jashaga. Let me tell y'all are some beautiful, strong but vulnerable, humble women that we need this right now. We need this kind of positivity right now with so much that's going on, with so much hurt, and people that are grieving, and people that are going through depression, and people that are just want to let it all go. That is what this is about, because you could be grieving not just over a death. It could be grieving over a job or something, somewhere where you've been for 10, 15 years and they let you go. You could be just, it's different things that you could to grieve over. You know what I'm saying? That you can grieve over. So I definitely am just thankful to have you guys to be here with me, as well as my moderator, Sexy Nikki, and Angie. Oh Lord, I appreciate y'all, because this is a hard topic. And I knew this was gonna be a hard topic for me because of the grieving that I'm still going through over two people that was very they had my heart, what I'm saying, my daughter's heart. So I definitely appreciate you guys so much, and it's what's needed. It's definitely what's needed. But yeah, I still, and I also do counseling. And that's what I wanted to ask Jashaga. I know that your sisters had to get you out of the house to get you to survivors of homicide, for that counseling. How did you do, as far as, is that something that you continue to do? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Now that I'm in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
I think every moon I'll go see a therapist here. They're full of crap. Okay.
Okay.
I lived in a major city, and you know what to expect from people trying to talk. I'm used to being a psychiatrist. I'm a psychologist, not a whatever. And down here, I have private insurance, and it's still hard to get somebody that that's a psychiatrist. I mean, I need the
I
psychiatrist.
see.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
but I take medication, but nothing, like hard.
Right.
Something that I just cold turkey went off, girl. I thought I was gonna die. Yeah, you can't cold off of psych meds. I didn't.
Oh
No.
no, you can't. Oh no.
No. Oh no.
You can't go cold turkey off no psych medication.
You
Yeah.
can't do that.
And
You might, it's not recommended, you
no.
know.
Yes. Oh my God, I had to call them.
Oh shit.
I was withdrawn, but I'm like, oh my God, if this is the way you feel when you coming on cold turkey, I can imagine how people on drugs feel.
Right. And what did Mr. C he said? They don't hear the grief, they hear the anger, to see the depression, but never the grief. No, yeah. I also recommend people, and I wrote this down too, because that's what helps me. If you have an employer, check to see if you have employee assistant programs, EAP.
Yeah,
Because
you do. Yeah,
you do,
but
yeah.
Okay.
You got.
Well, I guess it depends. I guess it depends on the company you work for, but still check. That is a just check and see. I know for me, oh look there she blessing y'all. She blessing y'all. Thank you, daughter. Thank you, daughter. Look.
Look, daughter, you got it, daughter. You got it, daughter.
Thank you. But yeah, EAP is through your employer. That's right. You can check and see if you have now, like everyone has their own experiences. I know for me, my experiences through my employer has all been pretty good experiences. Now
my employers, they are awesome. When I tell you, anytime I needed off and got paid for it. So they were really, I think 16 years ago, things were different.
Oh yeah.
And they were good to me. They were good to me. Work there was good to me. They were just good because they knew what I was going through. They knew I was down. I didn't miss a court date. It took a year before it came. I mean, it took 3 months before I had great investigators. So people here, if you don't stay on your investigator, they will do nothing.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's true.
To the end. Everybody was wonderful to my family. But see, I didn't even really have to stay on them. They came by every day until they caught, who did it and stuff. I didn't know him, the person who murdered my son. I've never seen him before. But my niece knew who he was, and I had people tell me after my son died, Miss Trina, I knew eventually he would hurt somebody, but I didn't think he said kill your son. They said when he was little, he was off the wall. Stuff, and that's not. And one thing I hate is when parents are in denial about children.
Right.
Now,
right.
I've come to the point where sometimes it'll make me go, I gotta think about it. But then I'll be like, yeah, he did. When he was in school, my son, when he was young, girl, I got thrown out of so many schools, crazy. So
right,
but
right.
Getting back.
Therapy is a great. Let me see. Your daughter is saying therapy is a great source of clarity. However, we need to release the cultural cloud over it. Right. You're absolutely correct. And maybe for naturals, I still haven't been strong enough to open the evidence bags given. Oh goodness, my condolences, love.
What happened?
She said she still haven't been strong enough to open the evidence bags given after he died.
I want mine, but I know what's in it. And it's still
my condolences.
I want mine. I do. but I know what it is. It's a white T-shirt, blood all over it, and I know what
You
it
don't
is.
have to. You don't.
No, I
Like
give it to me because she's
like
and
Hey,
Lauren
Miss Lady.
lady. Yeah, that you don't have to
Hmm.
do that now.
give it to
If
me.
you feel like you cannot deal with that, you have a choice because I still have something that I wasn't. I still to this day, and it's been almost 4 years. I have not. You know,
Yeah,
when you
it's
ready,
yeah.
yeah, like when you know you ready, don't let nobody force you to anything you're not ready to do. You might not never be
Mm,
ready, and that's
I,
okay too.
my daughter said,
right.
"Mom, what are you gonna do with it?" I said, "Put it in a frame."
Yeah.
That's the way I was at that time. But now
Okay.
I know it's there if I want to
Okay.
get it. I already know what it
Right.
does.
Yeah. Okay. Right. When you're ready,
Yeah.
don't let
Right.
nobody force you to something when you're ready.
Yeah, it's all in when you're ready. And that's the key. Because sometimes I'm telling you, you could be like I said, I could be hearing music, or I could be somewhere and I could hear something, and sometimes it's happy, and it's like laughing.
Yeah.
I just start laughing because I remember some things that was said, my
Yeah.
dad did, or my daughter's father, or something, and then sometimes it ain't always like that.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yes.
Maysby Supernatural said, yes, I have all of his clothes and people calling me to let them go, but I can't. No love, don't no, you let that you
Yes.
may
It
not
sure
ever
was.
let that go.
Yeah. The
That's
hardest
that's a part
part
of
of my
your
job was
grieving.
telling the parents that the news, and that it was heart wrenching. It's heart wrenching when somebody got to knock on your
Yeah,
door and say, we have to bring you and let you know that such and such expired. It's a heart wrenching feeling, you know?
it is.
It's a heart wrenching
It
feeling.
definitely is. And but no, you definitely have to be take things in stages. You know what I'm saying? One thing I will say, like with the grievance stages, and Jashaga, you had mentioned them earlier.
It's like I said, mine are a little different because I wanted revenge
Yeah,
and not they state.
yeah.
But you say whatever.
Right.
That's any
It's
mother that lost that child's been murdered. That's what
yeah.
do you think? It's
Then
any parent want revenge. That's the first thing's gonna come to their mind. They're not thinking,
I know.
they want everybody gone.
I
Especially
Right.
if you take
part
lines,
part of it. That's like the third stages of the seven. The guilt I
Mm,
had, anger, plenty of it
okay.
in a weird way. It wasn't where I sunk into myself and couldn't do nothing. No, I went and picked
Yes.
the casket. I went and picked out the head.
Yes.
I went and bought the pot.
Jashaga, she
So that
Yes.
and acceptance and hope. I don't acceptance like what? I don't understand that. And I was trying to look that up too. Like, what? You know,
and I think well, see, that's where you are coming to a full circle of
Yeah.
what I gather from acceptance is you come to a full circle where you're accepting what happened, that you're now living it,
oh
and that you see what I'm saying.
yeah, yeah.
You're now accepting, like, your 8 years of being in anger, and that's the thing about the grievance stages. I don't think there is an order, even though they have those seven. I don't
Yeah.
think there is an order to go
It's
in.
never
Yeah,
order.
because I
There's
never
no
was in
order for that.
denial. I went straight to
Yeah.
anger. you
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
know
And
I
revenge.
never was in denial.
And
Right.
that's a big one for me was revenge. Knowing I was taught well, I was raised well. I can't bring up none of my grown adulthood on my childhood. I had a wonderful childhood. I didn't know we was poor. I never went without anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And they were talking about, yeah, we know mourning is an outward part of grief, but some people don't mourn right away. And I was that.
No, they
Mm-mm.
don't.
Yeah, my daughter didn't either. She didn't either. She was numb.
Yeah,
She was numb.
I mourned right away. I from
Yeah.
kid, girl, I must have cried for 3 days because, like I told you, all I was doing at the funeral was looking around because people in a homicide, somebody they send somebody what's going on. And
Right.
when they finally arrested people, 3 of them their part was small, but not to me it was small, but to the system it was a small part they played. You still played in it.
Right.
Your 2 cents and kept it from me, knowing we done fed you, clothed you, always been good to you. So that's the thing I had to get by. But like 2 of them, I saw 3 of them. And I remember coming out the hospital with my mom, and I seen one of them. And I was like, Mama, what am I going to do? I'm walking my mom to the car. I said, Mom, what am I going to do? Am I hit him? Am I do this? I grabbed that.
Does she want to come in the box?
No, I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a balloon.
The mama,
And he said,
I want to know, but she texted.
And that's when I knew my process was to forgive people too. And then I saw another one, and I'll never forget, it was during Christmas season, I don't know what year. And it was like nobody was in Marshall's. And my sister Nikki is like, I see him, and I beamed straight to him, and he said to me, I said to him, I just want you to know I forgive you. He said, No, not right now. Take the time for it. I said, I'm forgiving you for me, not for you. My sister Nikki knocked that big dude upside his head. But I was like, Nikki, it's okay. I'm not doing it for him. I'm doing it for me. And then the third guy I saw and I finally forgave, he ended up dying 2 weeks after I forgave him. Not through murder, but health reasons,
And I bet that had to be hard too, because like you said, not only were you grieving for the loss of your son, but then you had these other people who, like you said, you clothed, you fed. You see what I'm saying? So you not only had to deal with that, you had to deal with the betrayal as well of these other people that were supposed to be the friends of your son, and all that time that you spent. And then you're just like, I can't believe. And that's kind of hard also, to have to deal with all of that. But I do want to ask, I think Ms. Barbara, you were asking about what's maybe for naturals. Did you want to come? You don't have to. And anybody who wants to actually come in to discuss their experience or would like to share their experience, please feel free. Just let us know. Ms. Barbara is she'll come out the box to allow you to come in. You said you want to come in? Yeah, just request. If you request, she want to come in.
Okay, I'm going out, guys. But
Miss Barbara.
Thank you, Ms. Barbara. But yeah, if you can request, and I'll let you come in as well.
Sydney,
I would love to, but I'm not allowed. Yeah, Mr. CEO, we know you ain't got but 2 people that's following you, but hopefully you'll be able to gain some friends. It's 34 people that's in him. You're more than happy to, welcome them to come and, follow you so you could go live. I'm just playing.
And put it on my page for people to see. I don't know how to do that.
What you mean? Like what you said again?
Was telling people about the live and stuff. I didn't know how to take it and put it on my page so people could see it. Can you do that?
Yeah, you could. Well, you know what? I have to. Well, because I have to put the duet. You could duet it, and then like when I share it to you, you could share. But you can do that. I'll show you, because this won't be the last time you'll be on here as a special guest. Trust me.
Love being here. We can talk.
Yeah, this won't be the last time. But no, definitely. But yeah. Oh, the duets was off. Okay, hold on 1 second. Yes, I be having to monitor things, but if you ask me, and I'll
because I was like,
oh Lord, request it again. Request it again, love. I don't know what happened. Yeah, Angela, you're right. Because I gotta remember that too. Because when I be doing this, I hope not. She's really an inspiration. I be forgetting the Yeah, she is. I'm telling you. Now, what you can do, Mr. CEO, see right here, you can follow Jashaga 1717, and then she can follow you back, and then that's gonna bring your followers up. Okay, because it looked like you got about, let me see, 434 divided by 100. You got a lot of people you're gonna have to get in order to go live, and I hope I'm one of them people that you invite live when you do get your 2,000 people. You know, you got about 50, 11 people you're gonna have to add. Okay, y'all go ahead and follow Mr. CEO underscore 820 to get him on up. Okay, let me look at this again. Put in there, go ahead, Miss CEO, because you know. We want to get you on up. I'm not on here enough to get that level. You're going to get there, though. We're going to get you there because I'm tired of you talking about Miss CEO because, you know, quiet as it's kept. Let me just do a side note right quick. We done talked about this about 50 11 times on here, Miss CEO. Okay. So you keep bringing it up. Okay. So I believe you want us to know you ain't got a whole lot of people and you trying to get to that 1,000. Don't tell me to hush up now because I'm already open now. It's called she say, he say. I'm she saying right now to the he say. You the he say and I'm the she say. Okay. So y'all, if y'all don't mind, Mr. CEO, let me go ahead and bring you up here. Mr. CEO underscore 820. Only serious inquiries, okay? Y'all don't be trying to do all y'all can talk to him and holler at him on the DM. Don't put that in my live. But
Right.
go ahead and boost him up. Okay, and get him to that 1,000 that he need to be so he can go live with us, right? Put my business out there like that. You put your own business out there, Mr. CEO, because it's the third episode. This the third episode you done came in and you keep on talking about you ain't got that many followers. Ain't that right, Barbers? Barbers can vouch for me, Sexy Nikki and Ansley, okay? Because they've been here them whole other 2 episodes before this where you talked about them, okay? All right, now let me go ahead and get back to business, okay? Mrs. B, okay, maybe for naturals. All right, love, I'm about to bring you in. Let me see. Hopefully this will get you on in here. He's talking about this the backup page. Hey, Lord, welcome in. Welcome in. How
Um,
are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
what's
Well, thank you for being open to come in and you know fellowship with us with Jashaga as well, and we definitely appreciate that because a lot of people sometimes don't even want to come in. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. That's another thing, y'all. If you
Oh,
don't, if
I'm
you want to
good.
come on here, you don't have to. It's not recommended, but we always love to see
yeah,
people.
we talking
But
to
definitely, but
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
therapy for
allow
me.
y'all.
So,
Oh, well, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad. I'm gonna allow you and Jashaga to have a conversation because I know y'all have some of the similar things, but I'll be here as
oh
well.
my goodness, so much similar.
story, dear.
Mm,
Tell me your
Say that.
story.
Oh wow. Okay, so my son in December 30th of 2015 was murdered at the age
mm.
of 19 by a 17-year-old.
My condolences. Mm,
Thank you. My son's story is similar to your son's story. Pretty much he was at his girlfriend's house, and my son was a smoker as well. So a friend of his that he knew, my son was in college. So a friend of his that he knew in middle school saw him near his girlfriend's house, and just casual conversation, went over there that day, and of course they had smoked all together. This same friend called him a week later, contact him asking can he come over and sit and chill with him like he did a week prior. So my son said yes, but I was asleep. You woke me up. Are you in the area? He said no, and my son said, well, call me back when you're closer. When the guy calls him back, he calls him back from someone else's phone.
mm,
First red flag, from someone else's phone. He called him, said he was sending 2 guys over there to pretty much get wheat trees from him. Okay. One thing that disturbed us is you sending someone that don't know my son over there to a
mm-hmm,
situation. Why, if you know him, why wouldn't you go too? So he sent them over there. Um, my son's girlfriend, which I call fiance, because 5 days before my son was murdered, he proposed to his girlfriend with a ring in front of my
mm,
mom, my daughter, and my grandbaby. So I acknowledge her as fiance. Her
Right.
name
mm-hmm,
is Angel. Okay. So
mm,
when they called, they came outside. Now this is in front of Angel's house where she lives with her parents. So they come outside and nobody's there, but they called, said they was on the way. So they're sitting there. The one guy that knew my son came up first and spoke to my son. They sat out, they were talking, casual conversation. A few minutes later, here come two other guys coming, and when they come up, Angel asks my son, babe, you know them guys walking up? And he immediately looks at him and says, no, I don't know them. But they immediately come up and they handshake the guy that did come that my son knew. So once they did that, that drew the attention on them. And at that time, Angel was watching all of them. And that's when one of them pulled the gun out and said, empty your pockets, give me everything you got.
Oh my God. That's what they said. That boy said to my son. Oh my
Yep. And so
Lord. Give me
he
what
pulled
you got.
everything out his he pulled everything out his pocket. At that time, Angel had her phone in her hand, which I've been around them so much that that girl would put her phone on the chair. But that particular day, she had that phone in her hand. And just when they pulled the gun, she already was calling 911. And she said, so you mean to tell me you're going to rob my boyfriend? The whole sound of all of that is on record. And that's when he said, shut up, ho, and he pointed at her. And when he tried to point it at her, it wouldn't shoot. And when they turned to run off with the stuff off my son, they shot anyway. And he was shot with one bullet in his heart.
My son went through the back and out and damaged his heart.
And then the story got so much deeper after that because right next door to them, there was a guy that was one of my son's best friend. But what made me start going over there is that he was 38. So I wanted to see who want to hang with my son at 38 years old and my son's 19. So I made a point of knowing to see who this is. Once I found out he was okay, her parents told me, I've lived next to him for years, he's okay. His wife came out the door, we met them, we was all family. Those boys later on we found out was walking around in that complex waiting for the next door neighbor to go in because they knew they couldn't fight him off. Just then they waited for him to go in. Then they saw Angel's parents go out and get in the car, and that's when they jumped the gate and came on through. This complex is 400 apartments plus. This was at 7 o'clock when it was still daylight. The youngest person that witnessed the whole thing outside playing on her scooter at 11 years old, that I would never put on the stand because I didn't need it. I had two eyewitnesses. My son's fiance and her 16-year-old nephew was standing out the door at the time. People don't realize stuff like this crushes more than just that person that you was trying to harm. It causes triumph, it causes problems, and you second guess yourself as a mother. If you did the right thing, I was a teacher for years trying to save kids on the street. It was like a slap in the face to lose my son on the street. You know, that's like a slap in the face. I come from New York, and to come from the Bronx where we saw murders every day, to come to Florida to lose my son, it was like a disrespect. You know, it was like, how dare you? Same thing how you said about your son. My son would go out his pocket and feed kids on the street. The ice cream man come up, he'll call all the kids to the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
I ended up at his school the next day. I didn't know why. I walk into the school, and since it's college, all ages were there. I have people my age sitting outside of the school crying, speaking to a psychiatrist because they can't fathom how someone hurt my son, someone who was so nice. You know, everybody said it. He'll give you your last. You didn't have the money. You could have talked to him about that. Like, you took someone's life in front of two people.
What's a weed?
I had this Andre, her nephew, 16, was literally crying, holding me, talking about he's sorry. He feel it's his fault. I said, why would you feel it's your fault? He said, because me being a male, I should have been able to stop that. At 16, for him to even think that. You know, I said I would never blame you. Then Angel felt being blamed because it happened in front of her house.
Right.
The parents felt blamed because they went out to the store at that time to get groceries.
My
Everybody
mother went
played.
to the store to play her numbers. That's
See,
son was in the house with out on the porch with the kids.
see, and then we go through not only that, then you got people that take advantage of our grief situation. One, I had the cemetery that tried to charge me $1,500 more to put the hole in the ground to put my son in.
To
How
open
would
it.
I know if that's right or wrong? The cemetery had to tell me that was wrong, that they overcharged me. Not only that, in the hospital, I never was able to view my son's body. They put me in the same wheelchair that they put prisoners in and strapped them in when they crazy. They strapped me in that and told me, we need you to get it together because we're pushing you to the chapel and you have to tell your family what happened to your son. That's what I was dealing with. But yet you told us you was taking us to the room that he was in to turn right back around and push us to a chapel room, and you strapped me in like I'm a prisoner. My daughter was pregnant at the time. The cops arm wrestled her down to the ground to where she fell on her stomach. My mom flipped up like we turned the chapel. The chapel hospital was closed for 2 weeks after dealing with us. That's what happened because you're keeping us in the chapel telling us you got people, patients out in the waiting room, like if we're less than what they're dealing with, and then we need to be quiet because of like you don't number one, you don't put a lot of people in a small room like that after telling them stuff like that and don't have someone speaking to us.
Right. What should have came to you first, like it did to me, when the surgeon came out to us, and he had a grief person with him. We were able to see my son after they took all the tubes out and everything, and they had him wrapped up in this room of light. It was like you could see his soul going out. It was like the light they had was so calming. You know, not just a regular old light bulb or something. It was just so calming. I swear, from start to finish.
And we didn't get none of that. And when you're dealing with, before you have a trauma and you dealing with trying to change your life and doing stuff in your life and being more spiritual, it knocks you down so hard till all you ever believed in is like, you know what? Yeah, I faulted God for a lot of time. I did. Because I was like, damn, did I not go through enough? No. And then it's like you hear the
strongest. He puts the most on the strongest. I have to believe that. Because, honey, I wouldn't be here.
And then I dealt with that saying, okay, if you making me so much stronger, what do I have to battle that you making me so much stronger for? And I always taught, yeah, to pray. But when I grew up, I'm going to keep it real. When I grew up, it was so many family members in different churches. I didn't know which way to go. So when you tell me to pray, I knew prayer supposed to change things. So I felt if I was praying, what am I praying for? Because it won't bring my son back, and that's what I truly wanted. So I felt pray on what? Pray to deal with it, pray to ease my pain through it. How? When somebody was took overnight from you, literally overnight. Then you want me to go to a trial where I'm supposed to get so many minutes to tell you what my son meant to me and my family. I'm supposed to write that on the paper. How can I explain 19 years of my son's life on paper within minutes?
You can't.
You can't. You can't. You know, and then they like to play that. Then you go through the court system where is your family more important than mine? Okay, where was you raised? Okay, I was brought up in New York in the Bronx. Okay, that's a bad neighborhood. Okay, his parents was born down here in the South and his mom's a prophet. Okay, but their son was a murderer. So I came from New York City where people died every day and I became a businesswoman, somebody productive, and you was raised in the South and you became a murderer to a prophet, a mother that's a prophet.
Honey, usually the ones whose family is totally out of control. Those are the ones who they need to be having in the church, and they letting their kids run wild, you know.
Right. Then
So
you deal with being televised. Our story was so televised, it's ridiculous. It's all over YouTube, it's all over every news report, everything. Because my son's case was one out of 40 top crimes in Tampa, Florida, which is ridiculous.
Mm.
So I'm a teacher for 12 plus years. I don't teach anymore. A teacher for 12 plus years. And I have to go to a trial on my son under 21 being murdered by a 17-year-old. I had to put a child away.
how much time did he get?
We just went to trial a couple of months ago. He was playing crazy for 6 years, acting like he didn't know his name, didn't know chair, didn't know. And what he did, they had evidence come in about 2 years ago. They had him on the phone. His
Right.
girlfriend called him and he said, "Oh, I can't discuss nothing right now because they're monitoring my calls. I'll call you back in an hour." Okay, everybody's calls monitored. Do they not know that? So he calls back in an hour with another inmate's ID and says how he played the doctors. They're stupid. He's gonna get out. They know he's known as Little Assassin in the jail. Everybody know not to mess with him because he got one under his belt. All of that. So when we finally went to trial a couple of months ago, he was supposed to get first degree because it was premeditated, because they did the whole call and everything. He got 37 years.
Flat time,
Mm.
good time.
37, 37 years. And he will also, the system doesn't always work. And to
Mm-mm.
me, even though he got 37 years, the system still failed me. I feel they still failed me for one, not only a productive person in this world, I worked for the county for many years and I gave a lot of time for leaving a job for more than 15 years to get a pin with my name engraved on it. Okay. Um, y'all failed me because the fact of me, my daughter, and my son's fiance worked this case. We went around asking questions. We went around showing pictures. We found out he tried to sell my son's phone down the street from where he killed them at. You know, things like that.
Mm.
Um, if you don't know, you don't know. I'm tired of things happening in the world where you assume this don't have no education.
You better, but
Okay.
listen.
Number
Mm-hmm.
one, even if I didn't pick up a book near day, I know one thing. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents and I learned a lot
Me
by
too.
talking to them and
Yeah.
what's supposed to happen and what ain't supposed to happen. And they used to
Mm-hmm.
drag us in their room to sit on that bed and talk, and we watched them shows on TV to tell you what not to deal with and what to deal with. And that's what helped me survive on the New York City streets as a black female. That's what made me survive it. And I instilled that in my son and my daughter. I instilled that in kids that I seen every day because I was that teacher that was going to make a difference. I wasn't that teacher that's going to call DCF to come pick up your child because what I thought might be happening,
Hmm.
you know?
Right.
So when you have all the evidence laid out in front of you and we know it's first degree, y'all knocked it down to second degree because no one would admit to what happened to the weed after. That's the
Mm.
excuse they gave. And we know it's first degree. Y'all knocked it down to second degree because no one would admit to what happened to the weed after. That's the
Mm.
excuse they gave us. It doesn't matter. You shot. You went over there with no money, and that was the reason why you went and you shot. So that's first degree.
Right.
Then you try to tell me you don't have the other two guys locked up because you needed them to turn state evidence. Why, when we had two eyewitnesses? I don't need nobody to turn state evidence. We got Angel and Andre that was standing less than 5 feet away that know exactly who walked up at any given time. I don't need nobody to turn state evidence.
Mm.
Not only that, I say they failed me because the fact this boy was already in a program for juvenile. He already was breaking and entering. He was already stealing cars and doing all that. And y'all thought it was good to let him out early. That boy got out. and he had a birthday 2 months later, which was in November, and he killed my son in December. That boy was out less than 5 months from that program and killed my son. But then when trial end, you want to come hug me and say, we got it, we did it. I'm not fulfilled with that. I still want everybody that was involved. I want the hospital for treating us misjustice when we was there. I want the funeral home for charging me $1,500 extra dollars. I even want the complex, because the complex advertised their property as a gated community, and that evening it wasn't gated and the armed security was not available.
But you know what? It's hard to. I guess they called it a gated community because it'll bring in more money and more people. But 400 apartments is not a gated community.
Right.
T is a small community. They might have 3 or 4 of them at the same name, but they all different, gated.
Right.
It's no way. Somebody gonna always leave the door open or put something in the gate where it won't lock or something.
Right.
Right. Then we had neighbors letting us know that the emergency vehicle was sitting there 45 minutes working on my son when the hospital is 5 minutes away, and that they couldn't get the back access gate, which is for fire department and emergency vehicles to get through. They couldn't get through because that gate was already jammed, locked, and was unaccessible.
I am so sorry for your experience.
Yes.
And thank God that mine wasn't like that. Everything from start to finish was just amazing.
It just added
to it.
Right.
It kept adding and adding to where 1 minute I didn't know what was going on. Just like you said, you walking around the world. I was walking around lost, like just getting in the car and don't even remember why I was getting in the car and where I was going. So I'm just driving. People will walk up to me and it changes you, because I was the nicest person. You could walk up to me and be like, hey, excuse me, can I get a couple of dollars? And 90% of the time you got it from me. After I lost my son, people couldn't come so close. They couldn't talk to me. I was already shutting them down, man. If you don't get out my face, if you don't walk down the street, like you walking around with a vest on, like, like, I don't want to hear that. Oh, you having a bad day. Like, look, I lost my son. You don't even know what a bad day is. That's how it was. That's really how it was. The littlest thing set me off, and I used to try to warn people like, hey, I got a lot on my plate. This is too much for me. Please don't take me there. And it's sad because some relationships, when you explain that you got hurt and pain and this is what you're going through, some people take advantage of that. They use that to their discretion to use you. I had to deal with leaving 3 different people since I lost my son, because you don't want to sit there. You're not strong enough to deal with somebody that got this on their plate. You don't know you're supposed to be a man and be able to deal with it, but you use it. You use it every time. Turn around. Can I get a couple dollars? I need the car to go here. I need to do this. And you just doing it because you want to have some type of person next to you that you feel that you could kind of talk to or let your guard down. Because after a while, you start talking to people, and it's like you're walking around with a disease on your forehead. Oh, here come Drea. Oh my God, like she gonna bring up her son again. Or, oh man, I don't feel like crying today. Oh my God, what she gonna talk about today? So you sit up there and hold all that in, and you about to explode.
You still need to talk to someone. You need to go to a place where everybody there has a murdered children who has lost it. Because I'm going to tell you, you in Florida, they should have plenty of them. Because Florida has a lot of killing going on down there.
We had programs here that the county wanted to pay for it, but they give you a time limit. So, for instance, they told me, they said, oh, we'll send you to someone to seek help, but you only get three visits.
No.
For your family.
You mean to tell me your police
to someone to seek help, but you only get three visits.
No.
For your family.
You mean to tell me your police station don't have a survivors of homicide? That's where I used to go. in my state, because people do not get sick of hearing about your story, because they telling the same story too. You could tell it 10 times and they're going to sit there and understand that you're telling this story 10 times. Because I know people get sick of hearing it. But you know what?
Right.
Too bad. Don't be around me. You know,
Right.
like I
That's
said,
right.
since my son passed away, I don't have a circle. I have a dot of people that come around me. And honey,
Right.
you still need to get help for yourself. You are,
Mm.
and the men are not going to do it for you. You have
Right.
to get yourself right. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You have to make sure I mean, the man is just going to add a problem, especially since you just said since your son died, you've been in 3 relationships. There is
Right.
help. You have to get it. I'm not talking about through psychiatry. You need to be in a group where people talk about it, because the group is designed for mothers of murdered children, a survivor of homicide, rather it's your child, your husband, your father, your cousin, or whatever. You need to get yourself situated in one of those. And I know in Tampa, they probably have some. You need to
Yeah, because
reach out.
they had me speaking at the gun violence awareness, all of them people that go to Tallahassee, all that stuff. I did that and spoke, but then it started to be like I started getting real angry, staying in
That's why
anger
you
so
need to
long.
be in a group of people where it's free that has lost people to homicide.
Right.
You don't need to speak until you get yourself together.
Right.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called Survivors of Homicide. That's where I
Right.
used to go. And I'm going to tell you, like I said, my sisters dragged me. And if I wouldn't have got dragged, I probably would be dragged. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
have to get yourself somewhere where people aren't sick of hearing your story. And in
Mm.
Right.
those people are not sick of hearing your story. I will tell the
And
same
I do
story.
have a
We
daughter,
got
because I only had one daughter, one son. I do have a daughter, and I tell her, you strong. She held a, she's strong. She had to hold her mother up, because I didn't. Me and my daughter's firstborn. Me and my daughter click. Definitely love her to death. Me and my son click, but my son was a mama's boy. Was that my son?
my
All my whole family had nothing but girls. He was the first boy in the family, so everybody was looking at him to be. Let's see what a man look like. Let's see what we got a man around the house. Let's see what he gonna be. Let's see, things like that. So when they took that, it was like they snatched love out my chest. Even though I had my daughter and I was still loving her, I felt, how can you take somebody so loving away from a family that's loving? God, you want me to be back to what I was when I was in New York? You want me to be back mean? You want me to be back being nasty and like to where I didn't really try to make love contacts, just friends high by. This is when I was actually starting to let, people in and having little cookouts and things like that. So, and then you snatch him out. It was like, are you kidding me? Like, what am I supposed to do with this now? Where I'm supposed to go with this? Me and my son decided to go to college together. I wanted him to have his own experience in college, so I told him I would pick a different school than he picked. But we made a pact that we rode to school every day together and we rode home every day. But he
Did
would go to
you
his
see this?
girlfriend.
I don't mean to cut you off, Miss May. CEO put they have the Tampa Bay Grief Society. That's a nonprofit organization dealing with mothers of murdered children. So there, right there, is something that
I'm a I'm writing that down. Thank you, Mr. CEO. And I'm gonna send this to you.
I'm gonna check into that because I was part of the mothers group for murdered kids. It was the little side brand with Trayvon Martin's mom's group, which is in the other part of Florida. I was with them for a while, but I had to leave out of there because a lot of things wasn't done legit, and I'm about legit.
Mm,
I can't do
no,
nothing that's not legit.
you
You
I
have
get
know,
I
to
get
get
it.
yourself in order first. So you
I
have
yeah.
get it.
to somewhere where I'm telling you, where they talk about it. You can let it out, talk about it every day, every second while you're in that group. They don't get sick of hearing it. People,
Right.
they're not going to say that to me. Well, I've come to a point now where I can talk about it without crying.
Thank
Okay?
you for
Right.
the gift. Mm-hmm.
I can I can talk about it without crying. And that just came within the last 4 years. And my son's been dead coming up on 16 years. So,
Okay.
honey, yes.
Yeah. So I certain times it hurts, like you were saying, certain songs trigger you. Certain times, of
Mm-hmm.
course, certain days trigger me. December 30th gonna trigger me. I don't celebrate New Year's ever. January, January 24th is my birthday. I was born on my dad's birthday, but now that day doesn't make me as happy as it used to because I always felt it was precious to be born on your dad's birthday. So, but it still triggers me, not in a good way, because through that time I was grieving, and then the way the system worked on when his body was released, I had to bury my son on my birthday.
Mm.
This year, my dad, he was getting Alzheimer's and dementia, and I believe the grief of losing my son killed my dad. My dad died on January 9th. He didn't make it to our birthday this year. So a lot of Januaries, I don't like to see it come when it's supposed to be. I just turned 50 this January. I was supposed to 50, you so many people didn't make it to 50. When back in when I was growing up, my grandmother's best friend was 102.
Mm.
My,
Now it's like unheard of to make it anywhere near that.
well, my
You
grandma,
know?
she died 2 years ago of COVID because she was in a rehab. So somebody had to bring it to her. So, but she
Mm.
lived a good life. I mean, I just, I don't understand why we kill each other. I don't
Right.
understand why people are. I'm with that. If you selling drugs or whatever, okay, yeah, you supposed to keep that. You know, birds of a feather flock together. But you're not supposed to snitch. You'll snitch quicker on a drug dealer than you do on somebody who takes somebody's life.
Right.
Mm.
Don't make no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No sense to
And
me.
then what gets me is that sometimes you have to deal with problems from the other family if you got to take people to court. Now you got to hear they snickers. Now you got to hear what they saying, and it's like, how dare you? Your child's still here. Your child took out my child, but you want to tell me little things when I'm leaving the courtroom? Like, I'm trying to be civilized and let justice handle it, but don't trigger people's breaking
Mm-hmm.
points. Like, act like that things happen, and I used to like watch the show Snap. I used to
Yeah,
watch that show faithfully because I always felt
me too.
that people are born different, but I always felt everybody's not born crazy. It's certain situations that you put in that somehow your mind couldn't get out of it and snap.
Yes,
Snap is
yes.
what your mind, where you
Yeah,
couldn't get
Psychosis.
out of it.
Yes,
That's why
yes,
yeah.
you have
ma'am.
addicts. They wasn't strong enough to get out of it. So don't act like, oh, today they popped up and decided they wanted to kill the next door neighbor. No, something triggered all of that going on. And I get that now,
I get that
and
too. Yep.
to me, my main thing I'm battling, I'm spiritual. I believe in a lot of things. I've been really, doing my stone work, my meditation, my healing. I'm trying. Forgiveness is going to be one of the hardest for me. It's
Mm.
going to be one of the hardest for me, and I
Let
know it's not for
me tell you.
the person. I know it. I get
Let me
that
tell you.
because I'm someone that always try to make people reconcile and don't argue, they work it out. But this one is the hardest for me.
Once I forgave everyone, it took years. It seems like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. I didn't forgive them for them. I don't want to go sit and have dinner with them or nothing, but I had to do it
Right.
for me. That's a heavy weight to carry, to
It
have
is.
for someone. Oh my God. Once
And
you,
you
Amen.
and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry,
No,
Jashaga,
go ahead.
but maybe for naturals, it's the reason why you came in this live.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's why I said that. I knew it was.
It's the reason why you came in this live. I could see it. You are hurt,
Yes.
and it's all right.
Yes.
It's all right. Let me say this to you, my sister. It's all right. Let that out, Queen. Let that out, Queen, because I'm gonna tell you something. Girl, you got me. I'm gonna tell you, I feel that. I feel what you're feeling. I can feel it.
You can hear it.
I can hear it. You upset. You upset at everybody. I'm telling you, I have been there. But you feel like you're gonna lose your mind. Sometimes you feel like you don't even want to go, you don't even want to wake up because sleeping sounds better than just have to deal with it each day. But when you told me that you were a teacher all those years, you know how many children need you? How many of our children need you? We need you, Queen. God has kept you here for you to you gotta let that go so that you can reach out to the many children, the many African American children that need you, Queen. We need you. And I'm here to tell you, I am here for you, my sister. I am here for you. And I know you said there was resources you're looking for. I'm gonna find you some
She
resources that
will.
so that you can go to get you that to start on that healing process. Because you've been it's like you're upset and you're stuck. And like you said, like Jashaga said, you need people that's gonna allow you to be able to get that and not and to have your support to lift you up. And if I could, I will hug if I could hug you right now, I would. But I'm glad you came into this live because you needed this. This is like a first step. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you, when I seen Jashaga, I said I got to have her for grief. I
Yeah.
knew she'd been through something and I knew she could help others. But I could feel it. And Barbara said, let her come in. Let's see if she want to come in. And I didn't know if you wanted to or not, because I know I will see you in the chat. I was like, you want to come in? And when you said you can, I'm like, thank God you came in. But I'm gonna tell you something, and this ain't fake nor phony. I don't care who say whatever. We
Oh,
need you. We need you, and it's all right. It's all right to cry.
yeah.
It is all right to cry. It's all right. Like you see, I did that. I did it early. It's all right. I'm doing it now, Lord. My God, today. Because I'm trying to hold back. I'm trying to hold back. But sometimes we gotta cry for each other. I'm serious. Like we gotta cry for each other.
My
I'm thinking of
exact.
our ancestors, and that's how we were. Our ancestors would do as women, and the elders would get together, and you just wail it, just get it out, just cry it out. Just let it out. If you got to scream or holler, it's good for the
Yes.
spirit. It's good for the soul. You
Yes.
gotta let it out because
Yes.
I feel it. You are upset, and I get it. That's your baby. That's your baby. But there is hope. And I'm glad Jashaga 1777, Trina, I'm glad you were able to come in to bless
Oh, it's
this
honored.
queen
Yeah.
here and to fellowship because you got to get it. You have to get it out. And that's how we used to do. That's how we used to do our answer. I wish we're the only group, and I don't mean to get off stuff. We're the only
Right?
community, and that's something I'm gonna talk about. We're the only African, we are the only community where
Yes.
we've lost our culture.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we lost our way. Y'all don't understand, y'all. Lord have mercy. Like we have lost our way. People doing this and doing that. It is too much. We got to heal each other and help each other. And that's the way. This is why we have this live. This is why I bring this to have these conversations. Because I don't
Yes.
know who gonna come in. Who gonna come in? I
Right.
just know I know that this is what God has blessed me with to do. And it's all right, Queen. It's all
Yes.
right. Let that out, honey. Let that out, love. Because Lord knows, I feel it, Lord. I feel it.
Yes,
I
man.
feel it.
You tell. You
I want to
feel it.
say also that when you had tragedies like this, like I said, it takes your mind so different, so many ways. So after my son passed up, I want to say about 2, 3 years, I stayed in the room, in the bed, in the room. It was no reason to leave the room. I had a room that had a bathroom. I felt there was no reason to leave. Somebody knock on the door, I make sure my daughter get it. When it was time to eat, I didn't want it. And I remember before my son passed, I had started not feeling good. And the doctor said, "Oh, you got little fibroids, but people live with fibroids all the time. They small, they might dissolve." Okay. After I lost my son, because you feel like, I don't know if everybody feel like that, but at one moment you feel like, well, I want to go too. I don't want to be here
Mm,
either. But I knew I wasn't going to take my life because I knew I would never see him because I knew my son is in heaven. So when I started feeling sick, it was like I gave permission for that illness to take over me because
mm,
I didn't try to fight. I didn't try to exercise no more. I didn't try to do my holistic regimen, drinking, having a turmeric and all of that. I wasn't doing none of that no more. And I remember this particular day I was at work and I started feeling bad 30 minutes before it was time for me to clock out. And I told my boss, I said, I'm feeling tightening in my chest. Something's
mm,
wrong. And he said, you think it's a heart attack? I said, well, I don't know. I never had one. I don't know. And he said, well, go ahead, clock out, go to the hospital, do whatever you need to do, go see somebody. So I was just at the hospital, I want to say a week before that, not feeling good. And the hospital love to give you ibuprofen 800, ibuprofen 800,
mm,
ibuprofen. You're not even supposed to take that all the time.
No.
mm,
So this particular day, I decided to go to another hospital. And I'm real particular about traffic. I don't like to drive in traffic. I don't like to do the interstate. But this day I drove further to go to this hospital. I went in the hospital for, my stomach swole up within 24 hours. Like when they measured me, I was measuring a 10-month pregnant person, which we know you don't be
mm,
pregnant 10 months.
Mm-mm.
So they touching my stomach lightly and I'm screaming. They had to call a doctor in that was on retirement to do surgery. I had 5 fibroids and one of them weighed 14 pounds. When they
goodness.
Wow.
took me upstairs, they had this lady come over, and I never forget. She had the scarf around her head. I want to say she was from Jamaica, somewhere. She had a heavy accent, and she walked up to me, and I seen her come in, and she says, "How you doing? How you doing today?" And I said, "Okay." And she walked up. She says, "Look, I need you to get out this bed, and I need you to fight, because you know you need to fight."
Go ahead.
It's
Go
okay,
ahead.
baby.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
She
It's
says,
all
"You're
right.
not gonna sit here in this bed and just your son is not gonna want you to go like this. You don't need to." I had not shared that with nobody, but she knew. She knew everything. And when she left out the room after that, I remember I was on the third level in the hospital, and I remember looking out the window where I could see the Buccaneers Stadium, the Tampa Bay Bucs Stadium, and I'm looking, and a red cardinal bird came and flew on the windowsill.
Mm,
Everybody know them red cardinals don't fly too high up in the
mm,
sky, and they
mm,
surely don't
That's
land on the windowsill like that. So I knew
mm,
right then, like, wow, I love birds. Why would this bird be on this windowsill? And that made me go over to the window, which forced me to get out the bed, made me have to walk. And I knew then that I was supposed to get out this bed.
that's
Just
right.
2 weeks ago, I was out in my garden, and cause I
That's
grow
right.
tomatoes and all that, and a cardinal bird flew off the tree and landed on my shoulder. So I get little
mm.
confirmations like that. I don't usually hear my son or see my son, which that hurts me a
That's
lot
good
too
because
because
I don't either. I don't see him. I don't hear him. That's why when people tell me I seen Jason, I'm like, that's a lie. Why would anybody go to heaven and want to come back down here?
Mm.
You know, now
and I used to say ask people how they see
you know
him and I don't, and
uh,
people say because you're not ready, you're still hurt.
oh no, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Tell you
No.
something. I'm gonna always hurt, but I've learned how to forgive. And once you learn and get to that point to forgive everybody who was involved, this is my story. I'm no psychiatrist or anything, but I was able to breathe. I was able to breathe. So,
Yeah.
And I knew, and it was so, because when I told my mom the next day about that nurse, and I was telling her, she pretty much pushed me to get out the bed when we had that talk and I saw the bird. So we wanted to do a little gift basket and stuff. We asked all the nurses about that lady and nobody knew who she was.
Girl.
Nobody knew who I was explaining who. And every time the nurses come in, they write their name on the board, and she didn't write her name on the board. So they couldn't prove who came in there. And like I saw it, like I could remember exactly how she looked today. But no one, they said they don't have a nurse with that description. Yeah. And I just knew that was a sign for me to know between her and me, that was him talking through her, I would say.
Don't give up. That's what he's, don't give up. You still have, I know it's hard, but you still have grandchildren and you have a daughter.
Yeah.
One thing I tried not to do is let my little son, but like I said, I took it differently. I was angry,
Right.
So when it was time for me to mourn, I didn't mourn. I was busy trying to see who was in there that shouldn't have been there, at the funeral and stuff. But I am so sorry that your journey was just awful.
Right.
Right.
I could say the best thing about my journey,
doing that.
The best thing about my journey, having to deal with that, I would say I have a couple of things. One, the person that came to talk to us after you lose someone, the news reporter. Excellent. Understood when we cried, gave us a break, he asked, what do you want us to say about your son? Not just putting words in your mouth and putting out the story out there that they want to say. Him and the other person I would say was the cemetery, the place where he's buried at. I didn't have a headstone at first. I had a picture. Glass wasn't allowed on the property, but since she knew how hard I was grieving, she allowed me to have a picture frame with my son's picture on that spot until we was able to get the headstone and such. They had their gates open 24 hours a day. 2 in the morning, I could drive there at 2 in the morning and sit out there. They allow out flowers and balloons. Some people don't understand. Really investigate if you ever have to go through this, because there's places that will deny you flowers in front of the grave, deny you balloons, because they don't want to keep up the cleanup. The excuse about, oh, balloons deflate, then we have to go around and get them out the tree and get them off the spot. Yeah, I heard it all when picking a spot for him to be at. So I have him in a good spot. We could go at any time. If my mom get off work and she want to go, she could go. If my kid's father come from way out of town and it take him 4 hours to get there and it's 12 o'clock midnight, he could still get in and go,
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. And I'm glad, man. Whew, yeah, I'm sorry
And
that
they
you
said my
had.
kid's father, he was a DJ and security guard for years before we even started having children. And that day that they called about my son being shot, he was actually in a gun class to carry, gun license to carry class. It's just wild the way everything came around. And the one story, like if you ever look it up on YouTube or anything on the news report, my son literally 2 weeks before.
Get a pen.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me what
His name is Tysaiah Donaldson. So it's
Tell me
Ty
you have to spell that for me.
Ty
Uh,
Saiah. That's his first name, and
Mm-hmm.
Donaldson.
Donald.
ALSON.
okay.
So would it have, what year did it happen?
2015.
So I could put
But
in
we just
2015 death of
yeah,
Ty in
because
Tampa,
it's
Florida.
gonna show recent because it took us 6 years to even get a trial started.
Mm. And this was in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll show Kalia Everett. That was the shooter's name. It'll say Isaiah Donaldson and Kalia Everett.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just been crazy. I want to say the person that speaks up for us in court on my side, I had some excellent, defense attorneys and stuff. They really dug up a lot of dirt that we didn't know about them. So, I did give them they props for, much knowledge they have. We all know that you could have all the evidence in the world and not get justice. And then you got people in there that all the evidence don't even point to them and they doing life in prison.
Yeah.
So it goes both different, both ways. It really do. It really do. It's
Right.
just also the only thing that I also feel bad about is that, which I told my daughter and told my mom, when we go through stuff like that, it's easy to neglect the rest of the children and the rest of the family
Oh
because
yeah.
you get so into how you're feeling. Like my mom one time was trying to hug me and kiss me, and I literally told her, like, how can you hug me? How can you love me? Why you want to hug me? Like I lost my son. Do you not understand that I lost my son? How can you lost a grandchild, but I lost a son. Like if
Tragic.
losing a grandchild was even
Tragic.
less than what you know, I didn't want her to feel less than. She still hurt. She still hurt. She still lost
Mm-hmm.
somebody. But I wanted people to know, I was standing there as like I'm trying to hold it together. Like I'm really trying to hold it together. Because it felt like all the work I did was for what? I raised both of my kids single parent and made them strong individuals. Lost my son. I sat up there 15 years raising other people's children. Lost my son. I left New York City street and didn't become a victim of that street to come down here to South Florida to lose my son. Everything kept going back to that ending for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't get past that. I was going past different church organizations, and I'm like, man, like I want to walk in there, but I don't want the wrong person praying for me. I need something, like
Girl,
I
you
need to
can
get
let
out of
everybody
this.
put hands on you.
Right, so I was like, I
Right.
need to get out of this. People don't realize that I'm walking around as if I'm lost. Like when people used to walk around and say, I feel lost, I never knew the concept until this happened to what
Exactly.
lost
Right.
really means, you know?
Yeah.
But 2 weeks before my son was killed, this happened. And I tell this story every time people ask my testimony. I'm driving us home. We had a 2-hour drive from Tampa to go home every day. Me and my son had some of the deepest conversations in the car. So I'm driving and he's on the passenger side and he's like, "Mom, turn over in the gas station." I said, "Why?" Like, we driving home. He's like, "Go over there. You don't see that man?" It was a Caucasian man sitting at the bus stop, literally tearing off a dirty t-shirt off his body and wrapping his feet that was bleeding. My
Mm.
son says, "Mom, you still got them church shoes in the trunk that I couldn't fit?" I said, "No, remember you told me to give them away. So I already gave them to Metropolitan Ministry." He said, "Well, go over there, pull up over there." I pulled up over there. My son took off the shoes he had just bought 3 days prior that he spent $150 on, walked over there and gave that man his shoes
Mm.
and walked back to the car barefooted and said,
Mm.
"Okay, we could go now." And I just remember driving and could barely look at the road for like looking at my son like, wow. Like wow. Like
Mm.
you
Mm.
really
Mm.
made a statement. Like, like I really raised my son good. Like, wow. That's when I really realized what I instilled in him, you know? that you wasn't materialistic. You wanted them shoes forever and got the money up and just handed them away. And to this day, people always tell me that that was a sign, because that neighborhood, we know just about everybody in that neighborhood, and we've never seen that man ever before, and we never seen him again.
Mm,
Yep.
Miss DT, I was telling you about my son took off his shirt and gave to
mm-hmm.
boy. It was a and the hat to go with it. Oh
See,
my God.
see, that's why when you was
Yeah, y'all
talking,
story. I'm telling
I
you.
was immediately crying when she was talking, because it was so similar. It was so similar.
Mm, 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 mm,
It was
mm,
so
mm,
similar.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I know. I
But
know.
I have people that had things happen and they switch. Like, I had started a nonprofit for mothers that lost children in Tampa when it first happened. I couldn't get nobody to come back me. Couldn't get nobody but two people to show up. I couldn't get the police to escort out front where we had to, like, nobody wanted to help with nothing. Nothing. Like, I kept doing stuff, trying to get the news reporters out there, and it ended up being two people, and one, except for who I brought with me. And we know people was getting killed every other day there. It's still happening. But you can't get everybody to group together to make a change with it, you know? So I wound up coming here to Jacksonville, but I wound up getting me a new, business started. And sometimes I have good and bad days, because I feel like, you want your kid there to see what they mama doing. You
Mm,
want them to be
Please,
able
we
to
see
rep
it.
the, benefit of it, to be like, wow, my mom said she was going to. Because I kid you not, I had wanted this tattoo on my arm with all cosmetology stuff, because I did cosmetology school. And I never forget, my son said, Mom, why you gonna get that on your arm? You're not gonna be in cosmetology forever. I said, well, I want to open my own salon. And he said, but you're not gonna be doing that. Like, it's like he knew that I wasn't gonna be
Mm,
doing that, you know? And so when after he passed, I wound up getting a whole tattoo done on my arm for him that was custom made. The guy put wings
oh,
on it, his cap and gown, the heart, the stairs to heaven, all the way up my shoulder.
wow.
You
that's
know,
beautiful.
I wanted that tattoo um not colored in but added to it. But then I couldn't, because my tattoo artist did this when this first happened to my son. He wound up
Mm,
tatting everybody for free that night, because he found out he knew my son when he was in middle school. Didn't even know
mm,
that to that day. So he did that as a benefit for us. Then what was it, last year? He was the one, I don't know if you heard, I think it was St. Peter Clearwater, the tat artist that was killed after doing a tat job for somebody. This man had
mm.
children and was literally renting hotel rooms to do people's tat, and someone took his life. It's just like the stuff that's happening in the world is like ridiculous. When I was
Right.
growing up, they asked what I wanted to be. I didn't say, "Oh, I want to be a mommy. I want to be this." I said, "I want to grow old and be happy like my grandparents." That's what I
Me
always
too.
said. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted wisdom. I wanted to
Me
be able to
too.
sit on my bed with my grandkids and tell stories and stuff, and watch TV shows for the 50 million time. I think I watched every Cosby Show, Fame, and and
Right. Right.
Solid Gold episodes, and Family Feud and all that. We
Right.
got to the point where you hear the little dun dun dun. You know what show was coming on.
Right. You sure do.
you know, I I want that. I asked a girl one time in a platform. I said, you know what? I'm buying me a planner, for a menu planner. I said, I'm gonna start sending this planner to my different family members to write down our recipes that we grew up on, so I could leave something for my grandkids when I leave, that they have history of how grandma, great great grandma made her mac and cheese, how so and so made they oxtails, how we gotta leave some type of history behind, because we
Man.
losing people too fast, too
Man.
quick,
Yeah.
too quick. And like, we
Yeah.
spoke with our elders, but if you're taking the children and the little ones are coming up. Who they gonna speak on? Who they gonna talk to about years ago or
Who's gonna
10
be the
years
elder?
ago? Or I have two grandbabies that wasn't here when my son passed. So when my oldest grandbaby talk about him, they see a picture, but they don't know like she know. She remember
Mm-hmm.
him pushing her around on the swing and stuff. She remembers that, you
Yep.
know.
Yep. Yep. That's right. That's right. I
and
know.
and and how she dealt with it. Kids are so, kids are stronger than we give them. Because my grandbaby used to say, Gma, can I come in here and clean off Uncle Ty picture? Can I clean
Yes.
off the Bible for him? And I let her do it because that's the way she was coping. And before she left,
Mm-hmm.
after cleaning it, she would go and kiss the picture and tell him good night. That's the way she was dealing with it.
Yep. Yep. Mm.
It's just, and I'll see certain signs, like I'll go to a restaurant and all of a sudden somebody might have a name that's similar to my son, or I might be in a restaurant and they start playing Monica Angel of Mine because that's what he would sing to his girlfriend, because his
Mm.
fiance, because her name was Angel. One day, me, Angel, and my daughter was at a Waffle House, and a lady comes up and her name was Angel on a tag. Like we'll see little signs like that.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
believe
know.
you.
But that was the hardest for me, is how we treat our family when we going through that. I had to literally talk to my mom and apologize, for really treating her horrible. I told her
I
I
know.
didn't mean it, but I was lost. I was hurt.
Mm.
Like I didn't know how to deal with that. How do you
No.
deal with that?
There's
You
no man.
know?
Yeah.
There's no book. They could write what
Right.
most people write books because they have an experience. They go on by information. If you have an experience, then
Right.
you can't tell me how to behave
Right.
or how to
My
react.
my old apartment had caught a fire, so we was all living with my mom. My son, my daughter, and me was all in one room. And my son said it. It's like we having a sleepover every night. And usually boys don't want to be under a whole bunch of girls like that, but he didn't care because he was with his sister and his mom. So
Yeah.
when we wake up in the morning, his bed right there. We get in the car, we going to school. We get in the car, we coming home. So everywhere I went, he was there. So it's like, how do
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? How do you fill that void when they was always there? Not saying that a person that don't live with you, you don't miss them, but it's like when you see their face every single day and then you don't see it, it's like, what you supposed to do with that? You know?
Right. Right.
Miss DT and Miss May, if y'all don't mind, I want to show y'all my son.
Yes. I'm gonna show you TY too. Let me get his picture.
This is
Oh, look at him. Oh,
Oh, look at that smile. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
handsome. Jashaga, handsome.
yeah, that's my baby. Yeah.
Wow.
Let me
Mm-mm-mm.
get my son picture.
Yes, let's see. We gotta, y'all, man.
I
I'm gonna
know,
see
I
if I
know.
can see it up there. See if you can
Mm.
see his picture up there.
Oh my God,
Oh, yes,
smiling. A
handsome.
baseball
Yes,
cap
he was.
on. Oh
Oh,
my
wow, he was
goodness.
handsome. Wait a minute, so yes, he was
Oh,
handsome. Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, then Denzel the second. Yes. Lord, I look. I'm saying, man, y'all. We
Yeah.
we we got to do y'all. This this
I
this
don't know.
this.
I'm just so
Mm,
overwhelmed, overjoyed,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I just hate that she went through what she had to go through from beginning to now. She's still 6 years later going through it. Come on now,
Right.
crazy.
right. And just now, so just now going through that, and yeah. But I'm telling you, I'm definitely. I'm over. Y'all can't even talk.
I know,
Y'all
huh?
already know. I can't even talk. But I'm
It was a
glad that
lot.
I'm glad, like I said, May, that you came in, and if you follow me, I'm gonna follow you. And like I said, I'm gonna definitely, you'll definitely have, the women here that can help through, these situations. Definitely. And I'm gonna reach out to you via DM too. with some
Okay.
information that Mr. CEO gave, with some information about that. And
Okay.
I already know, Barbara, where you at? Oh, Barbara said, look. I said, I already know Barbara want to come in. I said it before I even looked.
I
I said, Barbara,
thank
where
you,
you at?
Barbara, because I so
I already
needed to
know
get
she
on here
wants.
today.
Yes, let me
Thank
see.
you, CEO.
Jashaga, can I let you? Can you step out? Because I know Barbara want
Yeah.
to come in and say something to me, but I'm gonna let you
No
back in
problem.
because
No,
I want to
let me
finish it
tell you,
up.
I want to thank you. I'm going to go on because, y'all, it's past my bedtime. And I
I was
want to
past bedtime. I'm sorry, 8:18, but go ahead. We're gonna be done in a little, but go ahead.
girl.
But you know, I'm gonna send this to you because I want your family or those who wasn't able to see this actually, and let this be something you can keep for you and for
Okay.
your family.
Yeah.
So I thank you so much, Jashaga, for coming and
Oh,
blessing us
Yes.
today.
Thank you.
I really do.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
keep
have you.
in
Yeah,
touch. I
I'll
followed you.
All
yeah,
right. Good
follow
night,
each other.
y'all.
And
Good night.
Jashaga, I'll be speaking with you soon. I got your number.
Okay.
Thank you so
All
much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. But May, stay right there because I'm gonna let Miss Barbara
Okay.
in and let her come in and because I already know I knew I was looked away and I was like, Miss Barbara, Barbara, where you at? Come
Okay.
on and request to come in. Cause you know, but I thank you so much for coming in because I'm gonna tell you, you don't know how much you have blessed someone else as well with your story.
Yeah.
Hold on, Barbara. I'm letting you come in now. But y'all have some beautiful sons.
Thank you.
Wow.
Mm,
Just sit here and listen to this story and how life has threw you a hardball. But there is hope because I seen something in you while you was typing. My spirit told me I need you in this box. I need you in this box to share your story. I'm reading you and looking at you at the same time. See all of that stuff that you went through because God allowed you to go through that. He needs you to get stronger. He needed you to go through all the trials and the tribulations because you just shared a testimony. See,
mm,
your testimony is that you met us.
mm,
Like I said, I am 52 states international. Whatever help you need, I will send it to you.
mm-hmm.
Whatever strength you need, I will send it to you. Whatever people you need, I will send it to you.
Thank you.
I'm
Yes,
well rounded.
yes, she is. Yes,
I
she is.
am one. I'm in New York
That's
with the
where I
little
was born and
fingertips of
raised.
food. Yes, yes. See, your story touched my heart.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I remember as I'm sitting here listening to you, little did I share. You know, I don't like to bring up my history, but let me tell you something. I had a baby that was murdered by his own father.
Mm,
Brought him to me one day and killed him the next.
mm,
And I had to sit there with my hands on my butt because you talking about angry, you talking about revenge, you talking about the news. We hit New York Times,
Wow.
Daily News, New York Post, answer that news. And we had to sit there and promise the judge that we won't do anything.
Yep.
That baby's birthday's coming up. And so you
mm.
just brought up all stuff. But today we know what to do. See, we can bring justice to be served. It does not matter how long it takes for a murder charge. Justice can be served. You need the right people to guide you to the right
That's
way
it.
to get the justice you need for yourself. Because you need to find closure within yourself.
Yes,
It's not about them, it's about you.
yes.
Your son didn't carry you this far to fail you now. The lady
Mm-mm.
you spoke about was your son. He came to you through her.
Mm.
He came through you through her. That tattoo you put on your arm, Because see, he always gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
When you fall, he gonna pick you up. When you least suspect it at your dying moment, he's standing over you. Because like you said, you haven't seen him because he's not ready to reveal himself to you. When he does, you're going to be standing strong.
Mm.
You're going to stand strong. No weapons upon you with, oh my goodness.
Mm.
Let me tell you, sister, God is good. See, because I also shied away, but he brought me back. He allowed me to go through this so I could stand up, tell my testimonies to help others.
Oh, Lord. Mm.
That's what he did. So this is why I'm here helping others. And I'm going to continue to help others. I don't care what state you're in. Like I said, we 52 states. And you need it. I'm going to DM you with the stuff that you need to get where you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're strong. You're stronger than what you think.
Yes, Lord.
You are
Yes,
so
you
strong. You have no idea how strong you are. You got something to live for. And that's your family. Your immediate family, your grandchildren. We need people like you.
Yes, we do.
We need people like you to show that no matter what you went through, you here and you're strong. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. But baby, trust me, God got you.
Yes, he
Because he
do.
put us in your life. He put me, you came on this life for a reason.
That's right.
You came on this life for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you
I'm
did.
testimony of so much stuff. And I got so much information that can help you. Because the people that close their doors on you, they're going to open them back up.
Mm-hmm. You better speak that. Yes, Lord. I'm
They're
telling
going
you.
to open them back up. Because you said they turned their backs, 2 people showed up. How about a whole nation show up for you?
And I was just getting ready to say, don't give up on that. Let me tell you something.
Don't
I
give
am a
up.
testimony. Don't give up on that.
Never,
I'm telling you.
ever give up.
Don't you give up.
Fight.
Yeah, they had me I was on a network TV when I first started it because they wanted to know how I came up with the name Live, because it was marketed as a LLC, and I said I named it Live, which was Legends Inside Victims' Eyes, because I
There you
felt
go.
every day it's hard to live, but yet we got to keep fighting to keep our kids and family members' legacy alive. So I
Yes.
felt what was
That's right.
the most hardest thing for us to continue to do, and I felt live.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly what it is. We have to live. We have to leave a legacy. We are strong, stronger than what you can even imagine. It's just that we got to go through obstacles to get there. As long as you have the strength to carry on, the world is yours. We're going to send that help. I'm going to send that help to you, for you.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to DM you.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
thank you for sharing your story. Jashaga, thank you,
Yeah.
love.
Jashaga, yes, and Barbara, make sure you follow her, and I'm gonna follow you
Yes,
Yes.
too.
Yeah, I'm going to
And
follow
I'm gonna
you.
tell
Y'all
y'all, wait a minute,
follow
let me
me.
say this. Let me say this right here. Let me say this right here, because I know it's a lot of things going on these TikTok streets.
Yes.
And I know it's a lot of people that's on this FYP, because we own the FYP.
Yes, we are.
Don't bring that nonsense over here on this area over here. Don't come with don't come with a whole bunch of extra if you don't mean no good by Miss May right here. Okay? I'm telling you now, don't do it. Don't do it. Cause I ain't about all that mess. I ain't about all that drama. I'm about uniting. This is a safe space.
That's right.
Nah, we not having all that. Cause see,
We
she already
keeping it
said if
safe.
you were listening, people take advantage of that vulnerability. But I
Yes,
rebuke thee. We ain't gonna be
that's
no
right.
ain't nobody
Nobody
taking no
here.
advantage of nobody vulnerability over here. We
Nobody
don't
on
play.
this platform.
Okay. So
No,
I want
no,
to make
no, no.
sure that is what that is. And we'll definitely now look now, Miss Barbara, yeah, we definitely gonna be in something, I'm telling you. Definitely. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thank you so much,
I
May,
thank
for
you.
coming on and
May,
sharing your
empowering you.
story. That takes a lot of courage. And
Yes,
I know that this I know that in this amount of time, it wasn't. I know we're not able to
yes,
lift up all of what you may carry, but I hope you were
yes,
able to release some. But just know we're
yes.
about action. We ain't just about talk. Believe me on that.
My
Okay.
action.
So definitely,
Okay.
but I want to
Okay.
definitely say that because this is a safe space. That I try my best with the help of Miss Barbara, with the help of my moderators, to make for
Yes,
everyone who actually comes in and you know, willing to tell their story.
yes,
Because I didn't know
yes.
how this. I knew I was gonna cry though. I knew I was gonna cry because I'm sensitive. I
Yeah,
told you I
me
done
too.
cried 2 episodes
I was
consecutively.
crying.
Y'all been. Well, you know. Well, I was able to bring this into a business. She say, he say, is my business. So when you say don't give up, because I almost gave up. And if it
Yes,
wasn't for Miss Barbara and for those that were
yes,
close to me that I met on TikTok who surrounded me and said, keep going,
yes.
it wouldn't be no she say, he say,
Right.
LLC for the people
See,
in the
that's
back.
the LLC.
And that's why I say don't give up. Don't give
Don't
up.
give
Whether
up.
it's one person or two people, I don't care about all that with the
We don't
views and
care
all of
about
that.
that.
As long as I can help someone,
Yes,
I really feel like with me having Jashaga here and we was able to help you, that's all that matters. I'm filled. I'm
Because, like I
filled.
said, see, I got a whole business right here. You see my banner.
I see it. I see it. You
I
better
So
go
see
I'm
ahead
it.
with
gonna,
the banner.
I'm trying. I'm trying, you
Yes,
know.
and keep on. I can't keep on moving. Don't stop.
Keep
No,
on.
keep on
They
moving. Don't
gonna
make me
make
start
it
singing now, because you know, y'all know I will. Keep on moving. Don't stop. No, don't make me. Don't make me do it now.
happen.
Y'all know I got a note on me now. I
Stay
said to keep on
strong.
moving.
Stay strong. Stay strong.
Don't make me do it now, because I will. I want to leave this on a happy note. I want to leave this on a happy note. But I
That's,
definitely want to thank everyone, and just stay right there, Meg, because I
yeah,
want to say this. I want to thank everyone for coming in, for you know, all of Jashaga 1717. Thank you so much for being a special
yes.
guest
Thank you.
about
Yeah.
grief management. Thank you so much, Miss Barbara, for your help as
Yes,
well.
yes,
That's my honorable co-host, Miss Barbara
yes,
198709, straight like that.
yes.
And thank you so much,
Yeah.
May, before you naturals.
Thank
I
you.
hope
Thank
this will be
you.
your last time coming
One,
in, but I thank you
I
so
yes,
much,
apologize.
and we will be in touch.
yes, yes.
Barbara, you going live in a little bit?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much,
I'm going
Jashaga,
live.
and
You
thank
can
you
go
so much to my
anytime.
moderators and
Yes, so
Yeah.
you can go
And
in.
the people
for
that was
Sexy
commenting, thank
Nikki.
you.
Yes,
I
Lady
love you
Butterfly.
guys.
Where
And
Mr.
Monica,
CEO is? Mr.
Jashaga,
CEO, thank you for your help as
we
well. Y'all help
love
Mr. CEO
everybody.
get
Everybody.
51,000 because he done said, as I told y'all about 50
Yeah,
times in my
yeah.
life. I'm
You
tired.
gotta get on it.
I'm
Yeah,
tired.
follow in.
Effie, I'm
Follow in.
tired of all the problems you're making us. I'm tired, Mr. CEO. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead. Check out my content, man. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you laugh too. But girl, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. But I'm gonna go ahead. Like I said, I want to try to be on time and respect people's time. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the live here. But again, this is your girl at DT 1300
Thank
for
you.
She Say He Say.
Thank you.
Wednesdays and Fridays at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I see y'all on Friday, Unwind Friday.
See you
Y'all look out for
Friday.
the promo on tomorrow. But thank you
There
again,
you
y'all. I
go.
appreciate you. Thank y'all for the gifts,
Thank
and y'all
See
have
you
a good
soon.
night.
Thank you for
Much
the
love.
gifts.
Bye,
Much
y'all.
love. Bye.
you.
Bye.